This is a really fun way to eat pasta if you're sick of regular marinara based spaghettis and things like that. As a vegan, I know that's one of like the first meals we turn to when we're learning what to make as vegans, but there's such a huge range of different Mediterranean dishes and pastas. It really is worth exploring and learning more about different cultures and cuisines, and I love Mediterranean cooking. There are a couple cookbooks I recommend. I will link in the down bar if you want to explore more Mediterranean vegan recipes. But this is one of my favorites that I've adapted. This is my own recipe, so I hope you guys enjoy it, and just let me know if you want me to make more of these videos. I'd be more than happy to. I really do enjoy cooking. It's one of my passions. So without further ado, we'll get into the recipe. Alright, so this is what you're going to need to make this recipe, and I already got everything measured out and ready to go to keep things easy. And we do have a few fresh ingredients that I have chopped up over here. We are going to want about 3/4 cup of flat leaf Italian parsley. You can use curly parsley too if you want to. I think the flat leaf tastes better. And then we have a whole large red onion diced up. You can use more or less depending on how much onion you like. My husband and I love onions, so we used a full one for this. And I like using red onions in this. I feel like it gives a nice color to the dish. This dish is very colorful and pretty to look at. First things first, we have some extra virgin olive oil heating up in our pan here. Some people will say that you should use regular olive oil when you're cooking, but actually the good stuff is in the 100%. So I just prefer to cook with this kind of an oil on a day-to-day basis. I use canola and things like that when I'm actually baking and need a more neutral taste, but I love the taste of olive oil. Okay, so now we have our onions going and our big skillet there. At this point you can add salt if you want. I like to wait towards the end to add my salt. But this is an extra step. It is not necessary, but it adds a lot of flavor. We're heating up a dry skillet over here, a little tiny baby one, and we are going to dry roast our walnuts. And this is a 1/2 cup of walnuts. I've already chopped them and have them ready to go. I like to get mine at Aldi. They come in really huge bags and they're super affordable there. If you're afraid to add nuts to your dishes because they're so expensive, a good tip I have is to check out Aldi grocery store. They carry amazing deals on nuts. I get my bag, a huge bag of shelled walnuts for only like $6.99. It's like probably a pound or more of nuts, so it's a really good deal. And I got a gigantic 30-ounce jar of cashews for like $10. So, and they were with sea salt too, which was really nice. So definitely go to Aldi for nuts if you are a broke vegan like me. It will definitely save you money. We're just going to keep kind of stirring these up just like this so they don't burn. But you just want to kind of roast them for about a minute or so, probably a minute to 2 minutes, until they start smelling fragrant. You'll be able to tell. Just kind of take a smell. Just make sure you keep them moving. You don't want them to burn, but it really brings out the flavor of the walnuts, so that's why we do that. Okay, now these are starting to brown and smell very fragrant, so it's going to be time to start adding our sauce to this. And this is a cheap vegan savior here, because a lot of pre-made pasta sauces do have inorganic sugars, so we cannot guarantee that they are vegan friendly. But if you get a can of crushed tomato, if you get a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, usually that doesn't contain sugar. And this is just the one from Aldi, so again, it's very affordable. We're just going to pour that in. Just make sure you don't get spattered. And this doesn't have any added sugar or anything like that, so we can control the amount of sugar in our meal. It'll make it a little healthier too. We're going to turn the heat down on this as well. We don't want it to bubble too much and make a mess. Stir that a little bit. Stir that into the onions. I'm doing this one-handed, so excuse my clumsy stirring. That is our walnuts. We just set that aside over there. It looks like our water has started boiling, so we are going to add our noodles of choice. And I am doing tricolor rotini from Aldi again because we're on a budget this week, and I really like using tricolor rotini because they do have vegetables in them, like spinach and tomatoes and things like that. And it adds a lot of color to a dish. So we're going to add that to our water. Okay, so for spices, I like to eyeball that kind of stuff, but I'm going to post more accurate information in the down bar for those of you who really do need recipes. But we are going to add a little bit of garlic, probably about half a teaspoon of garlic powder. We're going to add probably, I don't know, 1/4 teaspoon oregano, however much you want. And then I have, I bought this in bulk. It's an Italian seasoning blend from myspicestage.com. It's really affordable to get your spices in bulk and your seasonings in bulk if you're on a budget. So I like to do that, and I just put it in old jars to recycle. So we're probably going to do about a tablespoon of that into the sauce, which is simmering really nice over there. And we added our rotini. We're just going to stir that a little bit to keep it from sticking to the bottom. And you can add salt to your water if you want to. I don't like to. I like to reduce the amount of salt that I have in my meal. So we're just going to let that boil for probably about 7 to 8 minutes. And yeah, we're going to add in our seasonings and then I will be back. We're going to stir in our seasonings. Like so. Get those all nice and stirred in. And again, we still have this on low heat because we don't want it to splatter everywhere. And I really hate these slick cooktops because my pans like to spin around on me. Sorry about that. Okay, now we're going to add in all of our other ingredients that we haven't added yet. I have about a 1/2 cup of golden raisins. You can use more or less depending on how much you like raisins. I like golden raisins because they're not quite as sweet. They're a little more tangy than regular raisins. So we're going to add that into the mix. And then over here, I have a cup of kalamata olives. They're my favorite kind of olives. This is optional if you don't like olives. You don't have to do this step. I love olives. And kalamata are my favorite kind. So you can go cheaper if you want to, but I think that it's worth spending a little more on kalamata olives. I think they just taste amazing. So we're going to add those in there too. And then we're going to add some capers. This is hard to do on camera, so I'm going to add these in and come back. I want to say we're going to add about a tablespoon of capers into the mix. You can add more or less depending on how much you love capers. I love them. So tablespoon will be good, maybe a little bit more. Now our noodles are done, and I added a little bit of olive oil into our noodles to add a little flavor and to keep them from sticking together. So we're just going to let those chill out in the sink for a little bit. And I also added in my flat leaf parsley, which adds so much flavor to this dish and keeps it really fresh and gives it some extra vitamins. And look at how beautifully colorful that is. It's so beautiful. And yeah, we added in our capers too. It was about 1.5 tablespoons, I would say. You can also add in cooking wine if you want to this recipe. I didn't, just because I didn't have any on hand, but this is flavorful on its own. It doesn't really need much else. So we're going to add the noodles into this and stir it together, and we should be ready to serve it soon here. And voila, this is our finished Sicilian pasta dish. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial cooking show, whatever you want to call it. This is a really tasty and easy meal to throw together on a weeknight. So yes, this is the finished product we have. It's a very delicious, easy meal to throw together on a weeknight. Very tasty and kind of something different than the typical spaghetti or whatever you throw together. So I really enjoy this recipe, so does my husband, and it's affordable too, which is important to me. Again, if you want to be more affordable, you can omit any of the pricier ingredients, but I really like the combination of salty and sweet and tangy of a Sicilian pasta. I think it is amazing.